The following is a presentation of the Midwest Motorsports broadcast team, consisting of Midwest Motorsports Mr. Everything, Josh Watt, broadcast producer and race control. On the comms and cams for the oval side is the man with the golden microphone, Michael Harris Jr.
We're here. We're all here ready to go. Pace car is in. Green flag waves from the stand.
And for the road side is me and Adam.
I am Adam Sondag. You're stuck with me.
And I'm James J., the voice of Midwest Motorsports, where signups are always open and always free. Friday nights are for the Truck Series, Sunday nights for the Stock Car Series, and Tuesday nights, the Road Series takes the track. Don't forget to like the video on the way in. Go to midwest-motorsports.com today. Okay, DW, take it away.
Let's go racing, boys!
And I approve of this message.
To Friday Night Trucks with Midwest Motorsports. I'm your host, Michael Harris Jr. As apparently the golden voice, apparently, of Midwest Motorsports. At any rate, you're here for these guys, not just for me. We're at Kentucky Speedway tonight for 113 laps. And we've got a full field of 11 trucks here with Michael Samia on the pole, Jason Phillips in second, Steve Hansel in third, Robert Lavery will start fourth here. Let's get the grid up real quick if we can. Dustin Reinsel will start fifth with Charles Smith in sixth. Green flag underway here. As the trucks go loud. Got Michael Samia in the good bench. Number 3 back in the saddle driving that number 3 car. He drove the 79 all last season. I think that number choice was in honor of his brother. And then we have Jason Phillips in the DEI fonted vehicle. Third place, Robert Lavery driving the Ram pickup truck. We only have 2 drivers this race here with Norm Snyder not in. Steve Hansel making his series debut. Been a long while since we've seen him there. And Jason Huffman as well. Don't get to see those guys very often. Apparently, I have some editing I need to do here on my end in the 7-Time studio. I was going to play a nice song to open it up, but apparently I did some things during the off season, and it's just not letting the voice mod go through, so... At any rate, your top 3 is looking pretty steady here. Everybody just kind of finding their grooves, finding the line, seeing where they can make the truck work or not. A couple guys that are more well-known in the series up front are going to take it a little easy tonight. As you can see, Dustin Reinsettle sitting in 6th place after qualifying 5th. Usually he's up at the front here. It's been a little while since he's been behind the wheel. So we'll see if he becomes a big contender later in this race, or if he just needs to get back in that saddle. Marco Lavery with the fast lap time here of a 31.13, just Yeah, thousandths of a second faster than Jason Huffman, who's also back there. Five laps down in this event here. Michael Samia continues to lead this race. And so we've had a nice little off season here, a couple weeks where we were just taking a break. We had a few recruitment races. So if you participated in one of those and just weren't able to make it tonight or may have missed out on the time frame, we just thank you for taking the time to go out and do those. I know quite a few of our series regulars were there. We had a session that had a session that had at least 30 drivers in there, which was great. Those have been fields that we haven't seen in a long while, and it'd be great to get back to that. I'm sure that we'll get there. Of course, with tomorrow being the 4th of July, America turns 250 years old. A lot of people have been celebrating and maybe away from their computer here this weekend. And the the rest of the broadcast team doing a good job there, making some ads and some pop-ups there at the beginning of the video that you guys will be watching. You know, you get to see one of the things they cooked up, showing all the different aspects and showing us what it's like, or showing you a little preview of what it's like here with the vehicles, with the trucks, with the cars, and with the Road Series, the Porsches. Let's take a look through the field here as we ride along with Michael Samia. In his number 3 Chevrolet. Still with Jason Phillips chasing him down 9 laps in. In second place, we have Jason Phillips. Big Ass Fans as the sponsor of his truck. It's always good for a super speedway race, good for pretty much any race really, but he is definitely a road course ringer. Somebody you always look at being either in the front or in the top 3 by the end of any of the road courses. He is being very competitive early on, and we'll see how that goes. Obviously still a long way to go with 113 laps in the total running. Fuel, we're looking at pit stops every 27-ish laps or so. We'll see what that information boils down to as we get towards the pit cycle time. So they're about halfway through a fuel run. Now, one thing that our league is doing differently this season than it has done in the past is instead of having a set percentage for every single race, they're changing it up every week. So this week we did, let me go down to that screen here. Let me get down to the screen, click the button, and I'm missing out on some stuff. So in the truck series here in Kentucky, they got a 56% fuel load with 4 tires. A lot of our races are going to be 4 tires. Only a couple that won't. Our schedule, which I will have to open up in browser, apparently. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to save it. Things that you should do before a broadcast is the research, so you're not missing the action or giving somebody more limelight than other people. Robert Lavery is in 3rd place here. Like I said, the lead Ram driver. His son Marco, the other Ram driver, as they decided to join forces this season. Excuse me. Let's see if I can... Moe's. Like, welcome to Moe's. Look at that, all in on the Midwest. We got that little strip there on the windshield. Dustin Reinsettle making some noise back there, but yeah, it's Robert Lavery. And Raising Cane's. It's a sponsor for Steve Hamsel here, and the number 24 Toyota Tundra. He continues to ride alongside Robert Lavery and be kind of in the mix here for podium spot. Alongside here as we're on the back straightaway. Not much has changed with the lead two cars as Jason's starting to fall back from Michael Smia. But Steve will go ahead and take third. Now Robert is in fourth, about to get passed by Putview's very own Dustin Reinsettle in that number 11 Chevrolet. Your past champion of the Truck Series. Be defending his title here. We've also shaved our schedule down to 10 races this season, spread out over 14 weeks, I want to say. I'm sorry, 12 races over 15 weeks. So we're starting tonight here in the Truck Series. The Stock Car Series will start on Sunday, and we'll hit 2 more tracks, then have an off week, another 3 before an off week, another 3 before an off week, and we round out the season at the early to mid-October range. So let's go over what tracks we're going to go through. We're going to start off here at Kentucky. Next week we have 131 laps at Milwaukee, followed by Texas Motor Speedway, 125 laps around the 1.5 mile oval in Texas. Where we have an off week in July. Dustin Reinsettle has gone ahead and taken over 4th place. I'm doing too much right now. Jason Huffman in the Reese's Ford F-150, number 4. He's now up here in 6th place. A regular in the Stock Car Series decided to open up his own Truck Series team and start competing. Gotta get that Midwest banner across the top, though, not the Craftsman logo. Unless you want to tell us something about the league's new sponsorship deals. But he has moved up from 10th place to 6th now. So, good charge early on. Eastern Auto Excavating LLC. That's on the front of Charles Smith's number 29 Ford F-150. He's currently in 7th place. Around here pretty good. Looking forward to see how he does this season. Of course, again, all the drivers around here, looking forward to how they drive around. Marco driving the Ram-flavored Ram. And number 23, riding around in 8th place. The only Harris out on the racing surface here, as I'm taking a night off, I guess you could say. I always find that be able to broadcast better on the booth or in the booth without the driving. But we'll see how that goes. I might get bored and decide I want to go back and behind the wheel. Not so much bored, like the drivers aren't doing good or there's not enough competition or anything, but at a certain time in the year, especially after like a 22-week season or whatever, you get to that point where you go, there's only so much I can say without having a lot of dead space. He is currently 8 seconds behind the leader. And then here's your surprise. The boss of the Midwest Motorsports, I shouldn't say anything negative, because this guy pays me, and hopes and dreams. Eric Thaler has found himself down in 10th place. I'm sure a pit cycle will change something for him here as he'll look to try to get competitive a little later on. Obviously, he's trying something out here, trying some strategies, whether it's just fuel save, tire save, or if he's this is just not his track. Who knows? We'll find out. Obviously, the longer we get some drive time here, the more they're going to learn about the trucks and how they're best going to handle. Might have missed out on a little bit of action as Steve Hansel, there you go. He's up in 2nd place now, trying to chase down Michael Samia, but quite a big gap. We'll get to that in just a moment, but we'll finish out with some patriotic font there for Ron Schamer in that number 97 Toyota Tundra, and celebrating tomorrow's 250th birthday of the United States. Big battle here has been brewing, and of course it looks like not Mr. Smith, but we got a Robert Lavery headed down pit lane here, lap 26. So he's gonna be the first one down here, and we'll see what that strategy does for him. I really only have to make 3 stops right from here at 27 laps complete. Your race leader, Michael Samia, has come down pit lane as well, being followed by Jason Phillips and Marco Lavery. George is going to stay out. Eric is going to stay out as well as Ron Schamer. We've had 4 of 11 come down pit lane. Steve Hansel is your current leader now, taking over from Michael Samia, and Jason Huffman working with Dustin Reinsettle. Steve's coming down. Dustin's going to come on down. Jason's coming in. Charles Smith's going to stay out. Make it a clean 28 laps now. Will he have enough fuel before he has to come on down to pit? I got a feeling Eric's got... I apologize, folks. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been staring at a screen for 5 hours without lights on earlier today. But Eric Thaler right here in 2nd. Everybody else is a lap down, coming on back out on the track here. Or would be a lap down. Now Eric's coming in. Charles is coming in. Steve Hansel's out. Just coming on out here. And if we look, Samia's on track. He's passing everybody now. Jason Phillips right back there in 2nd place. Green flag pit stops. And we survived the lap right after as well. Good on you guys there, the Midwest crew. Being able to keep it clean. That's one thing you can say, is that there's not very many cautions in the Truck Series nowadays. And sometimes you could say it provides a little bit more entertainment for those of you at home, but being a driver, it's definitely more fun just being able to put the laps down and not have to be pacing all the time either. That's why we joined the league, so we didn't have to deal with cautions and crazy online randos. I feel like I'm trying to segue into something without meaning to, but you've seen it a couple times in the bottom of the board here. Is our racing league. Yes, we just started up our oval series. Our road series has completed its first 3 races of the season. They're on season 12. The oval side's on season 11. Sign up today if you're interested. It says the bottom box right there. There's the website you can go to find all information Midwest Motorsports. Midwest-motorsports.com. Again, Midwest-motorsports.com. It'll take you to all the information you need to sign up today to join the league or to follow along. There is also another website as well, which Steve Hansel, our third place driver right now, has professionally done. Well, might as well be professionally done. That looks pretty fantastic as well, which you'll be able to find if you click on some of the links found in this website. We have our 3 racing series. The Truck Series are racing tonight, Friday nights at 9:55 Eastern Standard Time. The green flag will drop on these races here. 9:50, you'll need to be here in order to qualify. And then you have the Stock Car Series, which will be taking place, if I remember right, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Let me just double check. I know we have that somewhere as a thingy, but I will still click on buttons. 8:25 Eastern is when the race starts. So 8:20 is when you want to be in the session. Hey, look at that. He's got an answer for everything, folks. Our race director, Josh Watt, doing fantabulous. Listen to me babble on for ever. But yes, Sunday nights, 8:25 Easterns, when the green flag will drop for our first race of the stock car season. So be there. Pretty sure we're at Auto Club this coming Sunday. And then Tuesday nights is the road series. We are off this coming week for the road side. The following week, which is July 14th, will be our 4th race of the season for the road series. You can catch the fantabulous voice of Adam Sondag and the amazing, always legendary James Johnson in the booth. James J will be there. They both are a fantastic team over there, calling all the action. And I try to drive that series when I'm not having problems. Dustin Reinsettle has found his way back into the podium discussion after a whole off season. Here he is. You know, Dustin's a little bit like, this is going to be really weird and this is going to end up on YouTube or something, but Dustin's really like my wife, where they like to sit there and tell you all about how awful they're going to do and they're going to be horrible and they're going to lose, and yet somehow they end up winning in the end. I know, James, put the hats away. Not take the hats to victory lane just yet. We're still only 37 laps in this race, believe it or not, but the fact that Dustin is up here tells me that he has gotten some of that rust off. He's figured out the track today, and he'll probably have some good strategy for the rest of the race, provided that nobody else interferes. But Michael Smee has been fast all night long, pretty much leading this race from top to bottom so far, except for the pit cycle. But he's doing it in style in the Intimidator number 3. And we'll get to some more discussions in a minute. This takes me back to the early 90s when they started the Super Truck Series that eventually became the Craftsman Truck Series. Mike Skinner, of course, drove this very truck. Jay Sauter in 1997 as well drove this. And in 1998. Mike Skinner was behind the wheel of the number 3 Goodrun Chevrolet. Got 15 poles, 16 wins, 34 top 5s, and 38 top 10s. Also, for you internet savvy people, of course, Cletus McFarland has a Dale truck as well, as it's usually referred to. But Michael Samia is definitely not a Dale Earnhardt fan at all. I don't know what you're talking about. But why else would you run that paint scheme? But Dustin Reinseld chasing him down there in his Corey Heim numbered truck. That's what the number 11 represented. Back when Corey was full-time there. Tricon, and of course now with Corey Heim winning a couple races in different cars, especially that win at the naval base. I'm sure he was ecstatic about that and probably already ordered the die-cast. If he ends up on the podium, we'll have to remember to ask. Just got a little note here. A little notification that Ian Silva, one of our truck drivers, unfortunately also a victim of being outside of American time zone, messing with his mojo there. But we'll get you on in the next one here, Ian. Don't forget about us next weekend or next Friday. Can't wait to see you there. Speaking of next Friday, Milwaukee, again, we'll run through the schedules. So next Friday, we'll be at Milwaukee, then they go to Texas before they have an off week on the 24th. To come back to Long Beach. Yes, that's right, the street course. Long Beach found its way on the Truck Series schedule. They'll be racing 45 laps around the famous Indy circuit that puts itself up in California. For the trucks head to... Oh, wait, hold on. Nope, it didn't fix itself. You are spared. Daytona. Yes, I was going to play the Daytona racing game song. How'd you know? It is 72% fuel for 75 laps, so that'll be interesting. Iowa will then follow that up on the 14th of August for 150 laps before they go on an off week. Let's put some fun action here on the screen as Jason Phillips battles with Steve Hansel. We'll finish up the rest of the schedule here as we go to the back half. So after Iowa, an off week on the 21st. Apparently my birthday's a big thing. My birthday's on the 20th. Anyway, now that I'm going to get doxxed for that comment, Lucas Oil Raceway Park has appeared on the schedule. I don't know why it took so long for it to get on the schedule as being one of the prominent Truck Series venues. It is finally on our schedule again for 28% fuel load, 150 laps in the sunset at IRP. That'll be fun, August 28th. I don't think I'm going to be there that week. There are going to be a couple weeks that you will not have my wonderful voice up here. I do apologize, but it is the summertime. I have 4 wonderful children, and my wife likes to pack stuff, and I like to go places, so I most likely will not be on the airwaves for a couple races. We'll go over those some other time. Richmond International Raceway, or Richmond Raceway, will be week 8 on September 4th. for 188 laps, one of our longest races of the truck season, before we go to Dover, which has turned into my personal favorite driving track, on the 9th, or for the 9th week, September. Who made this schedule? September 11th. The 18th we will have off. Then we go to the end of our schedule here, Charlotte, for week 10 on September 25th. Then October 2nd, we'll be going to Bristol to the last Coliseum for 188 laps, 24% fuel load. Look at that. The fuel loads change every week, folks. Not the only time they stay the same is going from Texas to Long Beach for 56. We end the season at Homestead for 101 laps. So no full-length races this season, no crown jewel style 400-mile, 500-mile crazy events here. George Harris finding himself getting lapped here. Oh, I'm getting more notifications here. Oh, our poor director is getting roasted. About times and stuff like that. Well, at any rate, folks, this has been a pretty interesting start to the season. We have a lot of different things going on the track here, with many battles still going on. They're not, quite side-to-side battles, but trucks within striking distance. Jason Phillips is still chasing Steve Hansel, and Jason Huffman's right on his tail. George Harris not too far away from Charles Smith, even though that's a battle for 8th. The battle for the lead is still within half a second, which by this point last season, it was maybe a few seconds rather than a few tenths of a second. So good on you guys for being competitive so far this early going of the season. 54 laps into the race, and Robert Lavery coming back down pit road again. Jason's still trying to find a good line to battle. Oh, actually, he's going to go down pit road as well. Michael Samia has decided to come on in. Marco Lavery, the only other driver that pit on lap 27 to not come in. Everybody else is kind of pit, up till 29 laps. Excuse me. Gotta figure out what's going on with the voice mod stuff. Why? Because I just want to click the buttons. Sound. Yeah, I don't know. But at any rate, we got guys coming on back out. Now just remember as well, folks, that there were 4 sets of tires sitting behind the wall. Eric only took 2 sets of tires when he came in. Interesting choice. But our race leader, Steve Hansel, down pit lane. George Harris is coming down pit lane as well. He was in 2nd place. Charles Smith, he stayed out for 29 laps last time around. So he's got at least this lap and the next lap before he would most likely need to pit. Eric Thaler kind of up there to join him as well. We'll see when Eric chooses to come on down pit lane. But surprising development here as Dustin Reinsettle finds himself chasing Eric Thaler, not chasing Eric Thaler, but passing by Michael Samia Charles Smith coming down pit lane. Where's Eric Thaler? He's coming down pit lane. Dustin Reinstedel has found his way back to the front of the pack, and he's going to pass by the start-finish line as your race leader. That's another lap led here as we get near the halfway mark. 59 laps. Well, we're working on 59 laps. 58 laps of racing complete. 5 lead changes so far in this race. And that's what they're looking like down on the track. 46% humidity with temps at 73 degrees. The track temperature is 78, almost 79 degrees. Well, that's clearly not working there. Just so you know, this is not spoilers, okay? James, I know you're watching, or I know you will be watching at some point in time. I do not make these little displays. Actually, any of the displays I pretty much do not make. I don't know how. But Dustin's not the race winner. I click on position and laps led, and that's what it's going to tell me. He's race winner. He's led 3 laps. Chill. Michael Samia, of course, has led 52 laps. Jason has not led any laps yet. Jason not led any laps. Steve Hansel led 3. I know Charles has led 3 laps as well. That's kind of how it's been spread out here. We'll go back to Dustin up front. I'm going to put the YouTube here real quick to see if I missed any chats or anything. And we have not. But thank you for those that have decided to tune in and watch today. It's definitely a pleasure being back here behind the broadcast booth, talking with you guys and talking about these drivers here on the racing surface. Speaking of racing surface, it's been a while since we've been to Kentucky. And while there's a battle for second brewing mighty here between Jason Phillips, Michael Samia, once again, happening behind Dustin Reinsettle. Let's talk a little bit about Kentucky Speedway, which on paper actually does look a little bit different than, say, Chicagoland or Kansas. It is a 1.5 mile track. It was opened in the 1990s. July of 1998, 27 years ago, they broke ground here in Sparta, Kentucky, where they opened the track up in 2000. Since 2011, the Cup Series race that happened here up to 2020 was the Quaker State 400. The Xfinity raced here, the Truck Series raced here, IndyCar came here since 2000 to 2011. That's when NASCAR came back. Very different designs throughout the racing surface. Turns 1 and 2 are at 17 degrees of banking. Turn 3 and 4, 14 degrees of banking. The backstretch relatively flat here at 4 degrees, with the front stretch at 10 degrees. Thomas Scheckter and Dallara IR back in 2002 set the fastest lap time by anyone on the racing surface during a race at 24:09.67. Don't think any of the trucks are actually going to make it there, but we got Jason Phillips going around the high side here of Michael Samia as they go down the back straightaway. Jason has cleared him. He's going to stay in that third lane. Third groove towards the high side. Michael Sumia rides on up to join him. And we'll see if Jason can track down Dustin Reinstedel any better. At this point here, I would definitely expect Dustin to be looking at some sort of pit strategy and what he could do at this point to try and seal the deal here at his home track. Track was built by Turfway Park owner Jerry Carroll, which was a horse racing track. After visiting Texas Motor Speedway, after it was finally built, Jason Phillips losing second now. Michael Samia comes up from behind like a rocket and makes the move through turns 1 and 2. They go down the back straightaway and Samia all the way down to the yellow line, keeping Jason in the dirty air. And he's going to hold him back. We'll see if Jason gets any kind of run. But in early 1998, Carroll announced the plans to build the track. Darrell Waltrip was an advisor to the building process. So as of 2020, of course, this racetrack has not been used by any of the major touring series. NASCAR decided that, or made the decision in the Cincinnati Enquirer, or at least let them know about it, that it was succumbing to its inability to bring in enough revenue for its parent company. They're going to convert the facility and evolve it into a multi-use rental complex to host special events, commercial television production, music festivals, other racing series, standalone RV rallies, and camping events. And then in 2021, because of the semiconductor shortage and Ford having a problem getting chips for their trucks, it became Storage Lot Central for Ford Motor Company. They stored thousands of trucks there. State of Kentucky is apparently was not interested in 2024 to help with the major renovations. as written in the Kentucky Lantern, the slate appears conspicuously short of the political will and financial muscle necessary to underwrite that undertaking. Kentucky lags so far behind that it risks being lapped. Obviously, this track hasn't been used in not even 10 years. And we've seen North Wilkesboro get renovated. And we've seen many of the other tracks get upgraded. We've seen street courses come into existence in a couple years' time. Aside from Auto Club, I don't see why they couldn't get anything rebuilt. And with the financial power that a lot of these businesses usually have, that have major touring things like the NFL and the NHL, there definitely should be some monetary backing rather than requiring the states to get involved. But at any rate, that's just my speculation. We are at lap 79. Michael Samia's old number. Dustin Reinsettle continues to lead by over a minute over Michael Samia. Speaking of him, Jason Phillips, 1.7 seconds in third. Steve Hansel, fourth place. Falling off a little bit. Jason Huffman trying to chase him. 3.9 seconds behind Dustin. Less than a second behind Steve. Then Robert Lavery, 20 seconds back. George Harris, 31 seconds back and still on the lead lap. Then Charles Smith, Eric Thaler, and Marco Lavery finish the rest of the running order here, all a lap down. Ron Schamer dropped out, lap 57. So 10 cars still remain on the track. All drivers still participating in the race will have the opportunity to get a top 10. So I guess I could have raced again. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, this race isn't boring or anything. It's just a matter of the urge to have driven or not driven. Still having that problem. And I guess for people who have been doing this for a long time, you know, like the Dare Waltrips and the Jeff Gordons of the world that went from driving all the time to coming up to the booth to do play-by-play and stuff, it's hard. I know I can just hop on the rig at most any time and just start racing anyway, or I could just race with these guys, not today, but Sunday, and it's just different. So, ramblings of a madman that is tired. And because I closed my door, I don't get AC anymore. All right, Jason Phillips coming on down pit lane here. We have 30 to go as Dustin, Michael, Steve, and Jason have completed their 82nd lap, working their 83rd lap. There's Dustin chasing George Harris around the racetrack. George still sporting that U.S. Navy colors. Isn't a bad thing here with the 4th of July just a couple hours away. Michael Samia coming on down pit lane and will be joined by Jason Huffman as well. Steve Hansel still out there, putting some laps down, raising canes. So we've seen some drivers be able to make it with 29 to go. Steve's definitely right there. As soon as that car passes the line, we'll be at 28 to go. George, he's still out there. Right on down. Coming down the back straightaway. He's currently in second. Charles Smith and Eric Thaler also there, 57-58. So they're going to look to make this the last stop for them of the day. Dustin Reinsettle, of course, coming down lap 84, so there's a chance he could make it. There's a chance he could make it, and there's a chance that he might run out of fuel. We'll find out here. Charles Smith has taken the lead back with Dustin Reinstall on the back straightaway with him. See how much more he'll put in. At this point, this is your final pit stop now. I guess enjoy the lead while you still got it. Certainly nothing wrong with that. I certainly enjoyed that. Dustin Reinstall on the inside, shooting through. Turn 1 and 2, cuts in front of the nose, and off he goes. And Charles is gonna go ahead and come on down for tires and fuel. Caution! First caution of the night. We'll see if we can figure out what happened there, folks. Pardon the jarring. And there it is. Looks like something happened between Jason Huffman and George Harris. Harris down low on the apron. And let's get a better view here. Not the rear chase. Not far chase. Chase. So if you look on Jason's camera following him, he comes down in the second lane, and that angle just looks like Jason just didn't know he was still down there. He's following the racing line. Following along with Samia, who was just ahead of him. George was down here. And it's so interesting, the difference of perspective, because if you viewers were like I was a minute before that, or looking over that crash for the first time, it looked like George came up the racetrack. And here again it does too. So they both come together. The one camera angle showing George going up the racetrack, and another one showing that Jason just didn't know. But they battled for the same spot of real estate regardless. And just let it play out here. George, unfortunately, into the outside wall after all that. Fast repair is still active, so he'll have to come on down, use that fast repair. But 7 trucks are on the lead lap. Dustin Reinstall trying to give a push to the truck. The pace truck lights are out. Steve Hansel's going to line up on the outside here as Dustin calls for the inside line. Jason Huffman in 3rd place. Charles Smith 4th. Michael Samia will be 5th. That'll be Jason Phillips 6th. Charles Smith. Oh, hold on. I think we already said Charles Smith. They're just not in the right order. If they just line up right. Robert Lavery will be there in 7th. Eric Thaler 8th. 9th, Marco Lavery. 10th, George Harris. So we actually have 8 trucks on the lead lap. Eric Thaler is the last truck on the lead lap. And here we go, back to green flag racing now. Right at the line, he did not wait for that one. Steve caught sleeping. And Jason Huffman will have full control of second place. Dustin off to the races. And so is Jason Huffman. So head on down, turns 3 and 4, 23 laps to go. Cautions do breed cautions, folks, so even though they've been clean for most of the night, we're here at the end of the race, 22 to go. Anything can happen. Field is bunched up behind Michael Samia now, who's now broken into 3rd with Charles Smith right there in 4th. And what a good time for him for that caution to come on out, as that saves him from going all those laps down. He can actually be competitive here at the end of the race. Several drivers, of course, came on down after the breaking point there. I mean, lap 84, I mean, you could stretch it, but we'll see if that's gonna happen. Lap 85 definitely is stretching it. Samia and Smith side by side still. Several laps after the green flag waved again. Nobody's made a decision. Samia's been fast all night. He's losing out to Charles Smith, but there's still enough time for the tire wear to be a factor here late. So we'll see what happens. Is Dustin going to burn off too much? Who knows? But George Harris on the inside of Michael Samia. He might be a lap down, but he ain't giving up. He is not backing down now as he's trying to get around Michael Samia. Behind him is Robert Lavery in that 33 Ram truck. Trying to put Ram closer to the podium here if he can. That front logo looking like Tabasco. Put them up another spot. Robert Lavery has now moved up to 4th place, passing by Michael Samia, who's going to try to go on the inside here by the start-finish line. Can't make the pass before the line, but able to put the nose ahead as they head down to turn 1 and 2. Steve Hansel trying to have a say here as well. Samia unable to get up high enough towards the exit of turn 2. So Robert Lavery's going to have that spot. Steve's on the outside of the number 3 now. That good wrench number 3 falling like a rock. Charles Smith has caught up with Jason Huffman. We'll go back and pan back to this big battle here going on. Jason Phillips on the inside of Hansel now. And behind that and them is Marco. Marco is a lap down, but certainly is not going to put down passing faster trucks. Steve getting loose. We have a caution. And Eric Thaler gets involved in this as well. I guess he was feeling left out. I had a feeling something was going to happen when I saw Steve get a little loose there. And we'll play it back right here. Let's get the rear chase. Now, it could be that Marco tapped him just enough that offset the truck. We'll have to look at another angle in just a second, but it looks like there was just a tap from this angle, a tap in the wrong spot of the tailgate. Steve corrects, goes up the track though, and right hooking himself on the front of the 23 Ram. Eric Thaler trying to hit the brakes to do something, starts sliding, swerving into that number 23, and technically the 24. He's got no hood, so he'll probably have to come on down pit lane. Everybody's pitting except for Jason Phillips and George Harris. So Phillips will be leading them to the green flag, unless, yeah, they're just going to lead him to the green flag. That is crazy. So let's rewind again just to get that confirmation. Play it again. Play it again. So we're going to go Marco. If we're going to get a good... I'll find it. There's the nose. Where's the nose? There's the nose. All right. So here we are on the nose. Yep. That's what happened. He just got that 24 off kilter. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, we forgot to put the non-safe for work disclosure at the top of the broadcast, but saw a whole lot of interior. We'll go back to the live broadcast here. Everybody's starting to line on up. Lights are off on the pace truck. Jason Phillips will be leading the back in first place. Dustin Reinsettle will be on the outside. 99 laps complete here. We have 14 to go. Eric Thaler, third, is showing third place. Must have gotten a wave around or something there, even though he was involved in the accident, so I'm not sure what happened. How we got all those, but he's showing up third. Jason Huffman in fourth. Michael Samia fifth. Charles Smith sixth. Robert Lavery seventh. George Harrison eighth. And Marco Lavery rounds out the field. Currently 3 laps down. Steve Hansel's still in the pits. I don't know if he had used his fast repair. He must have already used his fast repair. We might have seen the last of the 24 truck tonight. No time to mourn though, as the pace truck has just dropped off into the pits. Eric and Dustin are side by side, so Jason might catch Dustin sleeping again. We'll see what happens here. They get to the line. Green flag. He did not wait. As soon as he crossed that line, he was gone. And Dustin going way onto the inside there, not getting into an accident, but close enough from this screen. Jason and Eric leading the charge here, Toyota and Ford with the Chevy behind. That number 11, 29 of Charles Smith trying to battle with Dustin now. Dustin on the inside of Eric Thaler as they are side by side coming out of turn 4. Technically almost say 3 wide here as Charles Smith got his nose under the quarter panel. Eric's still on the outside. Jason way up on the outside on the high lane. hits the wall. Michael Samia gets a little tap, gets squirrely, but able to solve that problem halfway down the back straightaway. Jason and Michael Samia side by side. And Jason Phillips has Dustin Reinsettle on his inside. That number 11 strong on the apron has been running very well. The end of this race, I told you early on, he might struggle, he might just play it safe, but he might be a contender at the end. And here he is, Charles Smith bearing down on Jason Phillips, trying to catch up to Dustin. And he's going to try to get that second place. He's not going to be able to get all the way back up to the top. Side by side now. We've completed 113 laps, folks. So that means we've got 10 to go. We got Robert Lavery up here as well in that Ram. Number 33, he's trying to battle for a podium spot. Charles losing a little bit of ground there down the back straightaway on Jason Phillips, but he's got most of the truck ahead. Can't do it this time around either. That 33 still dogging Jason. Charles can't complete, or Jason can't completely get around Charles now. So he's forced the issue. Dustin Reinsettle continues to clear a path and get away. We're going to look at a 3-wide, maybe 4-wide scenario here as these two still side by side. Jason Huffman getting a little squirrely there. Same thing with Robert. And Michael Samia, he's still there. That number 3 wants to get involved and wants to hunt down Dustin for a win. 8 to go. And Roberts had enough. He's trying to get all the way down to the apron, but has to ride up a little bit. Jason Huffman now on his inside, 3 wide. 7 to go. We've got 3 wide action here. Going into turn 1. Little door banging as they come out of turn 2. Michael Samia hits the wall, gets a little squirrely. We'll get some space there. Charles Smith made it around Jason Phillips. It's definitely, a whole second separates first and second place. I don't know if it's too little too late now, especially with Dustin at the helm, but Jason looks at Robert Lavery on his inside. That number 88's falling fast. Jason Huffman and Michael Samia at the back of this track here. Jason would love nothing more than a top 5, I feel it. And Michael's got the 5th spot. But Jason's been dropping, so these two might still get the chance. We got 5 to go this time. 5 to go. The lead hasn't diminished. 3 wide again. Jason Phillips lets them have it. Jason Huffman and Michael Samia right up tight to each other here. Michael Samia going to go on the inside here from turns 3 and 4. That number 3 Chevrolet earning the stripes well. Trying to intimidate, sliding up the racetrack. Avoids contact this time. Jason Huffman still has the position here. Charles Smith watching that number 11 frustratingly getting further away when he's got Robert Lavery breathing down his neck as well. And Jason has took himself a little bit out of position to battle here. Three to go, and Robert Lavery, he's trying to make a move. He's on the inside of Charles Smith. Put the nose under there just in time before Charles could close it. Side by side down the back straightaway. And you thought this race was done being exciting. Robert Lavery Charles Smith side by side still. Charles has the position as they cross the line. 2 to go. Jason Huffman holding off Michael Samia. Right behind this, Dustin Reinstall now 2 seconds. And Charles hits the wall. I don't think it's hard enough to really impact the drive of the truck, but now we got Robert Lavery in second. Jason Huffman and Michael Samia back to battling again. White flag out for Dustin Reinsettle. I know he's our race leader, but we got a lot of action going on back here that you do not want to miss out on. It is going to be a crazy battle to the finish here. I just feel like somebody's going to send it at some point. That's just how it's been feeling so far. Jason Huffman clawing, scratching, trying to find a way, scrapes the wall. Sabia almost hits him in the rear. Oh, right to the line, and Jason Huffman will hold off Samia, but what a finish for the first race of season 11. Dustin Reinstall, your race winner here. Has everybody crossed the start-finish line? Well, George Harris and Eric Thaler just doing some after-event burnouts. We survived the race, I guess, what happened there. Let's pull up these results here. Dustin Reinstall, your race winner. Just kind of capping off where he left off last season at his home track. So we'll do some burnouts here. We'll slow it on down. Robert Lavery in second. Charles Smith finishes in third. Jason Huffman, fourth place. Michael Samia, fifth. Jason Phillips, sixth. Eric Thaler will finish seventh. George Harris will finish eighth. Marco Lavery, 3 laps down, brings it home in ninth. Steve Hansel out, unfortunately, with 13 to go. And Ron Schamer done in 11th place by lap 57. 11 drivers came in today, and 11 guys put their efforts out there. They put it all out there, and what a great finish for this first race here. Dustin getting to do his donuts. We'll bring up the crew here if we can. I got Robert still in the truck chatter. See if anybody else is down here. I gotta actually, make sure that I've got my stuff. Alrighty. We've got a few people up here. So, let me unmute our third place driver, Charles Smith. All right, Charles, we got a copy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep. All right. Well, Mr. Smith, you brought that baby home in third place. You had a couple times you were up front, leading a couple laps during the pit cycle. Talk to us about your first race of the season here.
Well, it was pretty good. Off to a good start. I was trying to do it in three stops. I wasn't sure if I could do it, but that caution ended up helping me. So, I don't know, pretty good.
Well, certainly mathed out. I think when you had come down pit lane the first time, you should have been able to, or the third time, you should have been able to, I think, but definitely with that extra pit stop, it helped for sure, because I think you were going to go a lap down or close to it, right?
Yes, I think so.
So I gave you some new life there to end the race, and pretty big battle there with Robert Lavery and trying to track down Dustin. Walk us through that one right there.
It was a pretty good battle. I don't know, him and the 88, kind of on that restart. They're both, I don't know, if I could have passed them quicker, I maybe could have not used up quite so much tire, maybe tried to get a little bit closer to Reinstall, but I don't know.
He's an enigma, that number 11, but it's definitely good to get that first race down, and I definitely look forward to seeing you compete in the rest of the season. Is there a track in particular that has caught your eye? Something you circle for a later date?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think we're racing at Michigan again, so I think Bristol might be fun. I know that one's on there.
That it is towards the end of the season.
And Daytona,
All right.
keep up on that one a little bit better.
Yep, definitely. I don't have the button, so I would have clicked the button. I mean, I have it, but it doesn't want to pull up on here for some reason. But at any rate, well, Mr. Smith, we look forward to seeing you next week at Milwaukee, and you enjoy your 4th.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, next up we have our second place finisher in the number 33 Ram truck, Robert Lavery. We got a copy, Robert. Oh, I clicked a button. And click it. I can hear you now.
Okay. Hey.
How's it going, Robert?
Great. Well, hopefully I can turn this season around better than last season. I had some good races last season, but learned some things in the off time, and hopefully it's going to pay off.
Yeah, you sure off to a good start here, finishing second at Kentucky and back in the Ram here. I'm guessing you're pretty excited that they're back in NASCAR.
Oh yeah, definitely. And supposedly maybe they'll put a cup car next year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that development because you never know. But there's definitely a lot of talk about 27 for the Cup Series. Which Dodge product do you want to see out there?
Oh well, they'll probably put the Charger out there, I imagine.
Gotcha. Well, you had a great race today, getting yourself into second. Did you think you had anything for Dustin there towards the end? Any particular battles that excited you a lot? We were pretty excited about that last restart battle.
Well, the start of the race was I was gauging. I was pushing, I was gauging, I was staying up front, gauging how everyone was tracking, watching, trying to pay attention to tire wear for them and myself. So, I learned, learning some stuff in that first one. That's why I took the short pit and everyone followed me. So I was trying to play a game. And then the caution came out at the end, so it kind of threw it kind of out of whack. But I think I would have made it on 3. I was about 0.01 over, but I think I could have saved that. And, so try to play a little game. Speed wise, we were all the guys up front were pretty even. At the end there, I wouldn't have caught Dustin. I think I could have closed some gap maybe, but not enough. Definitely not. But that was fun. Definitely fun.
Absolutely. It was fun to watch, especially that end. As much as it stinks for those that got involved in the wreck, it's definitely excited that you guys had the opportunity to re-rack them and try again and see what kind of finish we could get from that. And obviously we get some good battles out of it too.
Yep,
Is there
definitely.
any particular race you're looking forward to the rest of the season here? Anything you've got circled?
Well, oh yeah, I got all the short tracks circled. Definitely. I love some short track racing. And we got quite a few of those this year, so, a mile or less. So looking forward. Definitely Bristol. Bristol's my favorite. So, but next week, Milwaukee, I like that one too. So.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to being over there. I think it's the second oldest racetrack in America.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But we'll see how you do if you continue this up here and get yourself another podium next week.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Robert. That was your second place finisher, Robert Lavery. And last, but certainly not least, the man, the myth, the legend himself, your last season champion, Dustin Reinsettle. I know you got a copy.
How's it going?
I was waiting for the pause to keep going and go, well, he made me a fool. It's going, man. That the end of that race was definitely something special. I know you had quite a bit of a gap over the rest of the field there, but looking through the back of your mirror, did you enjoy the show too?
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting ending to the race, to say the least. Um, no, it really good for the most part. Kind of like what Laver was just saying. Just first little bit, I didn't qualify very good actually. I think I got my last lap in like as the session was ending, so I was just trying to post something. Started in fifth, and never really. I think this is honestly probably the first league win I've ever had here. It definitely is in the trucks. So usually Eric is unbeatable here, and I think last time I was in VR and I got wrecked and had some kind of moment where I flipped upside down and had to take the VR headset off or something. But this race went a lot more smoothly. But it's my first. I think I ran 10 laps a couple weeks ago, just messing with some paint, and decided to just run a couple laps while I was doing it. And that's really the only time I've been in the sim since the last race. So it's been a couple weeks. Enjoyed my time away from the sim, and that's kind of the first. I don't know, probably 2 cycles, probably until I took the lead uh, on the second cycle or third cycle, whatever it was. Um, I really just kind of was not riding around, like I was still racing, but not trying to make any moves I wasn't capable of at the moment. Just getting back acclimated, and then there towards the probably the last 30 laps, I felt pretty good, hitting all my lines and trail braking like I usually do. So it come back to me. I wouldn't say riding a bike, but it's probably close.
Yeah, I definitely can feel that way for sure. And well, you kind of proved that point there by bringing it home in first place tonight after not really doing as much as some of our other drivers did in the off season. And, we got an exciting list on our schedule here, like Long Beach showing up and Lucas Oil on there as well. I know you're not the biggest fan of flat tracks. Milwaukee's sitting there next week. But is there any tracks you got on there that you're interested in? I know you got your home track win here tonight.
Let me pull up the schedule real quick. I've got a couple. I'll be honest. Last season, I told Eric after it was over that he couldn't have made that anymore to make me feel at home, just because I liked all those. So Milwaukee, what happened there last year? I think Eric won that one, maybe. No, I got Eric would led like almost the whole race, I think, and then I ended up getting him at the end over something. Can't remember exactly what all happened, but I know
I
he
think
was
he hit
leading
the
pretty much the
wall or
whole.
something
Yeah, he
like
was leading
that.
like the whole race. So Eric's gonna be real tough there. He's good at all flat tracks for anybody listening that doesn't know that. Uh, so I'm sure that'll be fun. I did pretty well there last time, so we'll see. But I'm excited for Long Beach. I actually sent a message in for my 2 cents on the schedule and got that one thrown in on the voting for everybody. But they ran an official there, and I just kind of played around with it while they were doing the official practices and stuff. So that one should be fun. Um, Interested to see if I can continue some good road racing from last season carried over. And outside of that, I mean, everybody's been asking for short tracks, so let's see. We had some cautions tonight at 1.5 miles. That's got a couple grooves, so hopefully they are ready for what they're asking for. Bristol's always fun and exciting, and I think it's almost a full 200 lap race like they run in real life, so it's going to be a doozy for sure. And Dover's a bigger version, and some people have some struggles there. So hopefully everybody gets their practice in for Bristol. It's one of my favorite tracks, of course. Yeah, a lot more short track oriented this year. Mile and a half. We got the one road course and the one super speedway. So should be fun.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to what we have in store for the rest of the season. A lot more short tracks, definitely something we've all been asking for a little bit, and something the trucks are more familiar with in their schedule.
Yeah, I'm
So,
really excited for the stock car series. I think I'm finally going to be able to run on Sunday evenings for the most part this year. There's going to be a couple that I'm going to have to miss, but with our couple drop races that we get, I think for the most part I should be at the majority of
oh, there you go. Any Tuesday nights there?
No, Tuesdays are kind of not. It's a little early on Tuesday night, so I usually don't get back from practices once that starts. So, yeah, probably no Tuesdays. Although I credit the road series for helping me out a lot on my driving skills. So, if anybody's listening, you're an oval and you never tried the road series, go give it a shot.
It's definitely fun when you're not struggling. But at any rate, not to turn over any of those stones. But all right. Well, thank you, Dustin, for coming in and talking with me here, and just bringing your A game again. Even though you started middle of the pack, definitely good to be chatting with you again and seeing what you have in store. And we'll just look forward to what the rest of the season has to offer.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. And for Josh Watt and the rest of our broadcast team, my name is Michael Harris Jr. I thank you all for tuning in and watching. I'm starting to lose consciousness, I guess. Brain's stopping the computing. But anyway, we thank you all for tuning in and watching. We will see you all Sunday night, 8:25 Eastern Standard Time for the stock car night and Sunday. And we hope you all enjoy your 4th of July. Keep all your fingers and toes. Won't be launching no rockets from your hands. As James J. always says, stay in your lane.
The following is a presentation of the Midwest Motorsports broadcast team, consisting of Midwest Motorsports Mr. Everything, Josh Watt, broadcast producer and race control. On the comms and cams for the oval side, it's the man with the golden microphone, Michael Harris Jr.
We're here. We're all here ready to go. Pace car is in. Green flag waves from the stand.
And for the road side, it's me and Adam.
I am Adam Sondag. You're stuck with me.
And I'm James J., the voice of Midwest Motorsports, where signups are always open and always free. Friday nights are for the Truck Series, Sunday nights for the Stock Car Series, and Tuesday nights, the Road Series takes the track. Don't forget to like the video on the way in. Go to midwest-motorsports.com today. Okay, DW, take it away.
Let's go racing, boys!
And I approve of this message.